I'm about to tell you information, tips, and tricks about study abroad that I haven't heard in any other YouTube video. So you're probably thinking, why are you doing a study abroad video when like no one can study abroad? My answer to that is these things take a ton of time to plan, so I'm giving you this information like way in advance in case you can study abroad second semester. So for some information about my study abroad experience, I studied abroad at the John Felice Rome Center, and that was through my university, Loyola Chicago, so it was a super easy process. I actually had an on-campus job as a library assistant, and I traveled about every weekend. If you're interested about specific details or like tips for the JFRC Center or about having a job during study abroad, I can do a whole separate video about that. So when I decided to make this video, I tried to think about all the questions that I had before going into study abroad, like what I was anxious about, what like no one was telling me, even like the school. So I compiled kind of a list to ease your mind because I was trying to find videos like this that would ease mine, and they tend to kind of like glaze over like the things that I really wanted to know. So I'm trying to give you like as much information as possible here. So my first tip regarding your student visa and a way to make this process way less painful is to participate in the batch process. Now I know not every school offers this, but if they do, definitely take advantage of it. If you don't know what a batch process is, your school will basically take all your papers like after you give them to them, like whatever documents you need, like different notarized stuff like your ID, all those kinds of things, and they will take them to the consulate for you. This makes the process so much easier because you don't have to set up a separate appointment at the consulate, and sometimes it takes like a very long time to get an appointment and it's like just a whole hassle. So I would definitely recommend making sure you stay on top of your stuff, because if you miss that opportunity to be a part of the batch process, it's really gonna suck. For all those students that their school does not offer a batch process, I'm so sorry. So I know not everyone watching this video is going to have a friend that's also studying abroad with them. I actually only had one friend going with me, even though like this program was a part of my school. So for some tips about getting connected to people who are also going abroad during this time with you through the same program is to join the Facebook group, and there's also probably someone that's going to organize a group me. Someone did that during my time and it made it very easy. You can ask all of your questions you're anxious about, or if you're a person like me who doesn't like to like randomly text in a group chat that often, being a part of the group chat is going to be an awesome resource because people are probably going to ask the same exact questions that you're already thinking about. So not only does being a part of a Facebook group and a group chat ease like your anxiety about different questions you may have, it's also a great place to make friends. You kind of talk to people through the group chat, or people will be like, oh, I want to do this, anyone interested, and then they will make separate group chats with people. So it's really awesome. People might come up to you and recognize you and be like, oh, you're in that group chat, like, hey, I'm so and so. This also leads me to another point about making friends, and I know this might be very difficult because travel days tend to be like, okay, don't talk to me, I'm tired, like very low energy, but try to bring your energy up during this time because this could be a great time to make friends during layovers, when you're just waiting in line. That's actually how I made my entire friend group. We all were just like sitting by each other and we're talking, and yeah, it was kind of crazy. So I'm happy that that worked out. Hey guys, if you're watching, miss you. So if you are a part of this group chat or Facebook group, people tend to share their seat numbers, and if you are flying Lufthansa, sorry, Lufthansa, I'm not saying your name right probably. If you are flying that airline, you can change your seat for free. So you can find out what other people's seat numbers are and change them to be by them, or you and your friend can sign in at the same time and change your seat together. That way you're not on a plane for like 10 hours by yourself, so you might be next to your friend if you change your seat. And I cannot stress enough taking advantage of that time on the plane. Be high energy that day. You may just make your friends during that flight and travel with them for the rest of the semester. Also regarding changing your seat, you can change it to the best seat on the entire plane. My camera died, that was cool. So when you're looking at the layout of the plane, you can look for the emergency exit, and that usually has like 2 seats. The emergency exit seats have the most leg room. I actually got that seat on my way back from Italy, and I could stretch my legs out the entire length. It was amazing, and it was definitely like the best plane experience I've ever had. A huge question that I had that like the school didn't really talk to you about that much was your SIM card. My school told me that you could get a SIM card in Italy, and a bunch of people do that all the time. And so that kind of freaked me out because I was like, well, what if I get there and I don't like the plan that they offer, or I don't really know how to do it? So I actually went back and forth a lot on this issue. Ultimately, I decided to get a SIM card in Italy, and I am so happy with that choice. I would have been paying T-Mobile or Verizon so much if I would have set up a plan here, and those plans actually don't offer a lot of data, and I know friends who had issues when they were abroad with those plans. I never had a problem with data or anything, and they actually offered like a ton of data for like going to other countries countries in Europe, so it was like the perfect plan. Also, something super important that I think a lot of people didn't think to do was to set up $1 a day plan until you can go and get your SIM card, because for me, I think it was like almost a week until we could get our Italian SIM card, because our school set up a situation where we could go to the SIM card place, and that wasn't until like the weekend or something, because usually if you go to a program, they'll have a lot of scheduled events that you have to go to, so it's not like you have a lot of free time right away because they're trying to help you get adjusted. But it kind of would really stink if you couldn't contact your family or parents or be able to get directions if you don't have any connection when you don't have Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi might not be that good. Like, it wasn't amazing where I stayed. If you decide to take my advice on any of these things that I tell you, please set up like a different plan until you get your SIM card, because you're going to be really upset if you can't contact anybody like for days. And if any other Loyola students are watching and are wondering what SIM card I got, I can make a whole nother video about that. Just let me know and I can talk about JFRC specific things. Okay, so now I'm going to move into packing essentials, or just packing tips, I guess. Please pack neutrals. It will just be the better thing to do. It'll make your life so much easier, and then you won't bring as much stuff, and that'll actually probably help you blend in with the vibe in the country that you're in, because they tend to dress like in colors like that. I feel like there's less people just like randomly wearing bright orange, stuff like that, so it'll help you blend in. And blending in is good because hopefully then you'll avoid pickpockets. Again, with clothing, if you're studying abroad in the spring, do not underestimate how cold that still is going to be for a while. I did, and I was like, oh, I'll bring like 2 sweaters. No, you're gonna need sweaters because it's probably gonna be like low 50s there, like 40s. Definitely do not forget to pack more sweaters because it's still cold. So on the note of clothing and things like that, I would definitely think about bringing a collapsible hamper. So at my school, they just had like community bins that you could throw your clothing in to bring up to the laundry machine. There were only like 5 community ones, so people would also just like steal them and use them as like their hamper all the time. So I don't really know where people put their clothing. I know like my roommate, shout out to Sophie, she bought like a little like bin type thing from a store. If you want to save some money, you can bring a collapsible hamper that like you probably already have, and it lays flat in your suitcase, so it doesn't really matter. Not going to take up a lot of space or weight. Another tip is to bring another pair of walking shoes. I know some of my friends actually bought multiple shoes while they were there because shoes get destroyed from walking so much, and it's just like a lot of walking. Like, you're gonna get in some serious shape, and like nothing is just like flat surfaces there when you're walking. It's like everything's uphill, especially if you are going to the JFRC Center. You gotta get mentally prepared for walking uphill all the time. Another pair of shoes that I would recommend bringing is a comfortable pair of boots. These are the boots that I brought, and these are awesome because they're waterproof, which is like super important to have waterproof shoes, because I think in the spring it's like rain season in a lot of European countries. So definitely bring some pair of waterproof shoes. These are the most comfortable boots I've ever worn in my entire life. They're the brand Born. The awesome thing about these is that they can pretty much dress up an outfit, and they're not like super dressy, so it's like a casual cute, you know what I mean? It took me a while to find a pair like this. A lot of boots try to have a pointed heel or something, and I'm just like, no, I want like casual, you know what I mean? I hope other people relate to what I'm talking about, because I feel like those are really hard to find, especially ones that are comfortable. So I just explained how waterproof shoes are really important because rain season and stuff. So guess what a lot of people I know forgot, and like other people just forgot? A lot of people forgot umbrellas. This one is awesome because it is actually one that domes. It kind of like goes like this around you. Most umbrellas go like that and out, but this one goes like that. Okay, I'm really explaining this like in detail. What was really helpful about it arcing like downwards was that a lot of these smaller towns in Italy had like random branches everywhere drooping and like random poles, and it was just like a lot easier to like go through and maneuver with something that arced downwards. So that's just like something to think about. Like, it's not a necessity, but like if you're gonna buy an umbrella, buy a doming one. You'll thank me later. Another thing that I think a lot of people forgot to bring was a mirror, and this is really important, especially if you have like contacts or like you want to do your makeup every day. It's to bring a little compact mirror type deal. This is really nice because it's flat and small, but it's also pretty decent size, and it also lights up. And the batteries are dead, but it like can light up pretty bright, so I love this and I highly suggest getting one. There were girls who had to do their makeup every day in the community bathrooms, and that gets kind of hard when like the toilet's also in that area, because like people are trying to go to the bathroom but you're trying to finish your makeup. It's like just kind of like weird. I would bring a mirror if you can. So this is a tip for all of my skincare lovers out there. I use a face towel every day. Maybe that's wrong, I don't know, but I do that. If you have any old towels, you can cut them up into like a little small, like not even like the normal size of a face towel, towel, but like smaller than that, because like usually you don't use all of it anyway, so you can make them like smaller than an actual face towel, but you can cut them up and bring a bunch with you, and so then you can use those and just throw them out when they're done because they're a towel that you didn't care about to begin with. So that was actually my mom's idea, and I'm so grateful about it because the school did provide towels, but just like a body towel for when you went to the shower. So speaking of shower, I feel like something that almost everyone forgot to bring, not me though, because I think about these things, was a robe to wear when you're going to the community shower. If you're a person who doesn't want to like walk down a hall that's like co-ed in just a towel, definitely bring a robe. Another thing that I did too was bring like a little bag that I didn't really care about and use it as like a makeshift shower caddy, because like especially if you're a girl and you have to like shave in the shower and all that stuff, that's like a lot of things to hold. So if you bring just like a small bag that you can like put flat in your suitcase, I don't know why I like clapped, but if you can put it flat in your suitcase, then it won't take up a lot of space and it'll just make your life way more convenient, because you're going to be like walking down holding your towel if you already forgot your robe, and then also trying to hold all of your products. And in community showers, you know, you gotta like move your butt to get to the shower before someone else quickly swoops in there. And yes, if you are in the JFRC Center, the entire floor will hear you perform if you sing in those showers. Oh, and if you are in community bathrooms, don't forget to bring your shower shoes. Something that I think a lot of people don't touch on these study abroad videos is what travel bag they're going to use, and I absolutely love the one that I brought. Basically, it's like this, and it has a smaller strap, but then it also has a longer strap. What's super cool about this one is it has this slit here, so you see how my arm's going all the way through. This section is actually designed to go over your suitcase like handle that you like pull. I think you know what I'm talking about. That's super convenient because, you know, you always see people with a bunch of bags and stuff is falling off, and like this just like stays really good on it, so highly suggest getting this. My friends actually really like this idea of having a bag that has like a shoulder strap, because they all had backpacks, and when you have a backpack, everything is behind you, including the zippers, so it's super easy for someone to quickly open up a zipper and like pickpocket you. With this bag, it's super awesome because everything can be in front of you if you want, or to the side of you. I preferred to have it in front of me. The zipper was right in front of me. I never had to worry about being pickpocketed because I could just put my hand on the zipper right here. So I feel like something that a lot of people don't think about is saving room for souvenirs. And if you're worried about bringing back souvenirs, you can actually bring a portable handheld baggage scale, so you can make sure that you're not overweight or anything with your bag. I didn't know they made that, but my friend Natalie, shout out to you, she actually had one and she let me use it to make sure I wasn't overweight with my bag. My family was actually going to visit me halfway through the semester. I was going to give them all the sweaters and things like that I wasn't going to need as it got hotter in Italy. That was going to free up some space for me and just give them other souvenirs that I didn't really need at the time. And if your parents are visiting you halfway through the semester or sometime at all, they can actually bring you more stuff. So if you pack more sweaters at the beginning when it's going to be colder and your family's coming like mid-semester, you can have them bring more of your summer clothes and you can kind of like trade out. And this also works for things like Advil. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you something really important. They don't have like Advil or like headache medicine like that, or at least like in Italy, or we were stupid and didn't like find it. They didn't seem to have a lot of stuff like that or anything like that at the places we were looking. So I would definitely make sure you stock up on your Advil or things like that, because if you got a headache, there's no Advil. Before I got on my Advil tangent, I think I was going to tell you that your family can bring you things that you might need more of, like if you're running out of your face soap or whatever like that, you don't have to bring like 30 face soaps. They can like bring you your replacements, you know what I mean? Also, if you're a jewelry lover, definitely bring a little jewelry holder. This is nice because it has a spot for rings. Yeah, more storage. So it's really cool. It's not that big, and like if you wear necklaces a lot, that stuff's gonna get tangled and you might lose a ring too if you don't have like special places for it. So again, highly suggest doing this. Personally, unless you know that you're gonna buy like a Gucci bag or something like that, and you might even like put it on a card. And also, speaking of cards, I don't know if it's a lot of European places, but Italy for sure does not accept Discover, and that was hard. I'm glad I brought a backup card in case that one had issues. But basically what I was trying to say, if you know that you're not going to make a huge like physical euro purchase, I wouldn't bring euros any bigger than 20, because for some reason they like hate making change, like at least in Italy. And I'm not like trying to like be like they hate making change, but like they're always like, oh, do you have like this coin, so that they don't have to like break a bigger amount. Lots of people probably don't like to break a $50 bill, so, or a $100 bill for that matter. And I would honestly bring like a pretty good amount of physical euros, because at my school they did have like an ATM, but I know there are a lot of like fees when you take out cash and things like that. So I would just bring as much as you can. You can always have them transferred back to dollars, I don't know. Or it gives you an excuse to go back to Europe. I like that excuse better. I'm about to be really real with you about traveling on the weekends. For some reason, everyone feels like they have to travel every weekend. I felt like that, but you don't have to, and it's probably not gonna be good for your GPA. Traveling every weekend honestly gets exhausting, and I feel like everyone thinks you have to travel every weekend because you're in Europe, so you have to go like every single place like right away, and you're never going to be back, so you might as well fit in every country that you've ever wanted to go into. I'm not roasting anyone for that because that's like exactly how I did it, and like that was my mentality too. After my experience, I'm here to tell you that that's not the way to do it, especially if like that sounds exhausting to you and if you really care about your GPA. Everyone makes it sound like study abroad classes are like insanely easy, but they're not, and you get a ton of work. And if I'm being honest, I feel like if I wasn't sent home because of coronavirus, I probably would have like gotten like D's in my classes because I never had time to do homework because I was always traveling. Also, I feel like if you travel every weekend, you're not like getting to know the country that's like your host country for the time, and like that's kind of the point, is to feel like a special connection with the country that you're living in. So I would definitely advise not to travel every weekend. Definitely travel, but maybe do like a day trip or something like in the country that you're in, and like yeah, go to different countries, but don't make it every weekend because it's exhausting and it may be harmful to your GPA. I cannot stress enough that study abroad classes are like super easy, like everyone's saying. I feel like I got more work there than like at school in America. And also I would recommend buying your school supplies when you're already abroad because that'll just save weight for your suitcase. You're not gonna have enough room for that stuff. And lastly, I think it's super important to bring a lock for your suitcase, especially if you're staying in Airbnbs or have a roommate or anything like that. If it's someone you don't know, like you don't want all your belongings out. So I would definitely bring a lock. I think that's basically all the tips that I thought to tell you during this video. If you are interested in another video of tips, I can totally do that for you. And again, John Felice Rome Center specific tips as well. It was a great experience. I would love to tell you about it, so I could definitely make a separate video about it. I think I like plugged that idea like 3 times throughout this video already. Clearly I want to do a video on it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Why do I like wave like that? That's so weird.